וכולם מקבלים עליהם, ומלכות שמיים. וכולם מקבלים עליהם, ומלכות שמיים. וכולם מקבלים עליהם, ומלכות שמיים. ומלכות שמיים. וכולם מקבלים עליהם,
Shalom Talmidim, Zman le'Ivrit. Hi students, it's time for Hebrew. Baruchim haba'im leparsha ha'achrona b'sefer Bamidbar. Welcome to the last Torah portion in the book of Bamidbar. I can hardly believe that we've already gone through 4 books of the Torah together. The name of this last portion from Bamidbar is called Massei. It means the journeys of. You may have already noticed that it appears in possessive form due to the yud following the end of the word Massei. Let's open up by reading our vocabulary, and then we're going to jump right into our challenge teachings because there's a lot to think about today. Reading Numbers 33, verse 1 from lesson number 43. Ele Massei v'nei Yisrael, asher yitz'u me'eretz Mitzrayim, l'tziv otam, b'yad Moshe ve'Aharon. Did you recognize any of the words? I'm sure you recognized Moshe ve'Aharon, and you most likely recognized me'eretz Mitzrayim from the land of Egypt. And of course we know we're speaking of the journeys of the sons of Israel, Massei v'nei Yisrael. We are going to leave our scripture from Parshat Massei for just a moment and look at the very last verse of Exodus. Let's read what it says. It's under challenge teaching number 1. Ki anan Adonai el hamishkan yomam ve'esh tiyeh laila bo ve'enei kol beit Yisrael ve'kol Masseihem. Masseihem. Could this be related to the name of our Torah portion? It certainly is. Masseihem means their journeys. Do you see the suffix ending he mem sofit? It was added and it means theirs. And so what does this verse mean? Well, you'll have to look it up to find out, unless you remember all your vocabulary and you can decode it. Before you just give up and look at your English translations, try to give it a valiant effort. You know many of the words already, and I'll give you a clue. The Hebrew word anan means cloud, and the Hebrew word eish means fire. Most of the other words you should be familiar with. You can do it. Okay, let's return now to our verse at hand, Numbers 33, verse 1. It's asking us who travels in this verse. We read in the first 2 lines, Ele Massei b'nei Yisrael. So we find that these are the journeys of b'nei Yisrael, the sons of Israel. And from where are they coming? They are coming from, or me, Eretz Mitzrayim, the land of Egypt. Number 3, how do you say they went out? We find the answer to this question in the 3rd line of our vocabulary. It says asher, which means that, yatsu. Yatsu means they went out. Do you remember a Torah portion name that has the same root? Vayetzi. It means and he went out. That was way back in the beginning of our Sefer in lesson number 7. Finally, challenge teaching number 4 states the Hebrew word for army is tzava. How were Bnei Yisrael organized as they traveled? Our vocabulary list tells us that the sons of Israel went out from Egypt, l'tzivotam. This word has a prefix lamed, which means for, to, or in this instance by, and a suffix tam, which means theirs. When we take away the prefix and the suffix from this word, we are left with the root, tzadi vet aleph. tzava. So they were organized according to their hosts or their divisions. How would we translate now Yud Yud Tzvaot or Adonai Tzvaot? Well, do you see the root? It means host. And what's the suffix that's following it? That's right, the feminine plural ending ot. Tzvaot means hosts. Our final line means Adonai, the Lord of hosts. As we close today, let's look to the left-hand side of our page at our Torah scroll, and we see only one paragraph break. We will begin reading the first verse of our Torah portion following this break. Ele Massei v'nei Yisrael, asher yatz'u me'aretz Mitzrayim, l'tzivotam b'yad Moshe ve'Aharon. And since we have now come to the end of another book of Torah, we say together, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitzchazek. Be strong, and be strengthened. Talmidim, may you be very strengthened this week as you do all of your extra homework and prepare for class next week when we will begin Sefer Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy. Kol tov, all the best. Litrot.
Oh,